Hola, la comunidad española. Sorry, I will have to speak English because my Spanish is not very the best. So I'm very happy to be part of this event for España. So today I will talk about Power Platform Challenge with Dynamics 365 Finance Operation because yeah, I was looking for a lot of content for finance operation for the Power Platform, but still I think it's not very famous, and I think we didn't have a lot of content for Power Platform. Yeah, especially for the ERP finance operation. But as you will see, you can use a lot of Power Platform components with ERP. So that's why I was happy, thanks to Mario, to let me show you this session. So I hope you are safe, like me in France. um, First of all, yeah, thank you very much for all the sponsors. Big shout out to Axazure also. I was really was really looking for to meet you physically, but yeah, it will be online. But yeah, still, let me know. I can of course answer all your questions during the session. Um, so just little little presentation of myself. So um, I am a Microsoft MVP business application. It's very just for only for May 2020, so very recent. So yeah, thanks again for all folks that was really present and helped me to be part of this fantastic family. So if you are looking for my blog, it's powerazure365.com. And yeah, I've done a lot of articles in English. And especially for the kind of session, for the kind of component for Power Platform for Dynamics 365 finance operations. So what I will present you, you have a lot of articles in my blog, so don't hesitate to go inside. So yeah, I'm Dynamics 65 expert technical on ERP and CRM and AI. So yeah, I'm not, I'm not a specialist only on ERP or only on AI. So I really want to have a global overview of a business application. So and I was starting in 10 years ago because now it's 10 years that I will work on Dynamics 65. I was working on ERP at the beginning, but at the middle of my career, I was going to CRM, and now I'm more on ERP and AI and Power Platform. So yeah, I'm a little curious. So yeah, I like to try something new, some new feature, and help you, of course, the community um to help you to have a better understanding of the whole ecosystem for Microsoft. I'm organize also weekly webinar, but in France, so in French for France people. But yeah, uh, and also well, like last year, but last year it was a physical event, but still, yeah, I really like to do events like this one for España, and so I am a speaker, yeah, on 365 Saturday for Europe, and yeah, and of course, don't hesitate to add me on social networks, Twitter, LinkedIn, and my YouTube channel. At the beginning, at first now on my YouTube channel, it's more like for French, but I will add very soon English session, English tutorials, English English tips. So yeah, don't hesitate to subscribe to my YouTube channel, or yeah, add me on, of course, on Twitter, and LinkedIn. So yeah, I've put you. My QR code to scan more easier the link to go to my yeah, my profile. So let's start for the Power Platform. So yeah, I think you will have a lot of session during this event about Power Platform. So just very quick overview, but of course you have a lot of components now in the Power Platform. Of course, the first one was Power BI long time ago that I'm working on, and now of course you have Power Apps and Power Automate, and very recently the Power Virtual Agents to do with a low-code, no-code editor, good chatbots. And it will be my presentation. You have a lot of data connectors. I think you have more than 300 connectors for the Power Platform. It's very cool, so thanks to Microsoft. And of course, you have the Common Data Service, and also more recently, the AI Builder that I really appreciate because it will be very good to propose AI stuff for known data scientists, to do quickly AI stuff. And as you will see, of this component, I will show you, of course, with Dynamics 365 Finance Operation. So let me just go to your summary, the overview, what I will show you. Donc, of course, the Power Automate for business event for Dynamics 365 Finance Operation, AI Builder. So I will show you, of course, the expense management for Dynamics 365. So with a real showcase, a real need for finance operation. I will have a little surprise for you, doing quickly about with Power Virtual Agent for finance operation. Of course, Power BI with data flow, data lake. So I will show you how you can build very quickly with real-time stuff, almost real-time, for real-time data for finance operation, how to quickly build and Power BI report with the entity store in the data lake. I will also show you the new stuff that I've done an article with that also, if you want. CDS would you write for finance operation. So how to bring CRM and ERP together, but of course the CDS and ERP together. So you will see that it will help you for the next part for the Power Apps portal, because as you can know, maybe the Power Apps portal can of course connect very quickly to the CDS entities. Since you can use now the dual write to connect and sync the finance operation to the CDS, you can build very quickly a private portal or public portal based on data coming from your ERP. So very cool. The Canva apps, of course, I can show you how you can handle master data with approval, because you will see, of course, that in ERP you have to handle a lot of master data, customer, vendor, etc. And sometimes you need to have an approval before creating automatically the master data in finance operation. So I will show you how you can use the Power Platform for that. So I don't like very much PowerPoint, so maybe the demo I really like. Prefer demonstration. It's better. So let's jump in. So Power Automate. Power Automate. So I've done. Of course, the first part in finance operation is to go to system administration module, and you have now, for 5 or 6 months ago, I think, you have now a new menu item. It's called business event. If I search, sorry. So you have the business event catalog now. So in business event catalog, you have a lot of business events. It's in fact like a trigger to call, of course, Power Automate. You can call also over endpoints, because it's not only for Power Automate. Of course, for this session, I will call a Power Platform, so I will use Power Automate endpoint. But I think you have an over endpoint, like if I go to endpoint, now you have you can send and your data trigger directly to Azure services, like of course an Azure service bus, but you can call also an HTTPS API if you want, or just send the event in the blob storage. So a lot of endpoints. Now I think you have also able to do some security purpose based on business events. And you have, I think, almost 15 business events in standards without development proposed by Microsoft. So you can just use it, activate it, and of course, after add the trigger, activate, and you will have the trigger that will send the event to Power Automate. So of course you have the workflow type, because you will see that now you can still use, of course, the workflow editor of finance operation in standards, but you can see that I really suggest you as a best practice now to jump, like for CRM, the workflow, the legacy workflow, and now the Power Automate. Yeah, it's still in debate to know why I can, where, when, and how I can use this tool and not this one. But really, you can now use Power Automate with Business Event to start your workflow in Power Automate and not with the workflow editor. You can, of course, build your own one. You have, of course, you will need a developer for that, but a developer can build now. You have a documentation on Microsoft documentation, and you can build own one, customize, and yeah. For myself, for this event, I will use alerts because in alerts you can, like here, you can set up a lot of alerts in the ERP, almost I think all forms. So yeah, I will use it. I think I've already activated, I think. So yeah, how I can use how I can build a business event. So first step, of course, is to build your, like I've done here, you have to build your own flow. You will have, of course, your URL. And when you have your URL, you can just go to new, select next, you put a name and your URL. And after you have done your endpoint, you can activate like that. Activate, you select your legal entity and your endpoint. For feedback for Microsoft, I already sent it will be good if you can't select multiple legal entities, because you will need to have select one by one if you want. But it's a good idea, because if you want just to put a trigger business event to Power Automate just for one legal entity in finance operation, of course you can. And when it's activated, you have also a lot of you can have errors, so you can build a trigger that sent if a business event has an error, you can be notified, of course. And when it's done, like me, when I've done that, because I set up this on alert rule, so when I go to quotation, because for this purpose, I use it for quotation, I want to be notified when a new quotation has been created in the ERP, and after I can do a lot of action in Power Automate. So you have to go to option and select manage my alerts. And like that, you can see I've set up a new alert rule in my finance operation instance, and you have to select send externally, because if you don't select this one, it will not call Power Automate. So be careful of that. So when it's created, just to remember, you can create here on every form, I think, create a custom alert. So you can select when a record is created, when it's deleted, when certain fields have been updated. And of course, as I said, you have to select send externally. And when it's done, it will call your Power Automate. So I can show you. Donc, for this purpose, I will just create a new example of quotation. Yeah, if it works. Yeah. So yeah, I can select just one customer. Yeah, can select this one and just create. Okay. Yeah. So now my quotation has been created. So you have a batch that is in finance operations that will know if you have a trigger activated or a business event that you have created. So I think my batch is running one every minute. So when you will see that a new the quotation has been triggered, a new alert will be triggered, and of course a business event with the alert rule will call Power Automate. So if I go to explain a little bit my flow, my Power Automate. So I've done just a quick condition, because as you can see, every user can build rule, an alert rule. So it's really important, of course, to put your rule ID that it will be safe to, because if someone else create a new alert rule, and it will also trigger your flow. So yeah, for me, rule, it's like it's good because it's dynamic. You can set up on every form, but still, I think as a best practice, of course, is to, if I want it to be safe, I will build a new business event by development to on self quotation and activate this one and not rule. But for this demonstration, it's fast to do like this. So yeah, I use it on alert rule. And of course, I will show you, but of course, after you can set up Import Automate a lot of action. In this demonstration, I call again finance operation to get all fields coming from the sales quotation. After I just sent a mobile notification, but I can I can call SharePoint, or as I said, you have 300 connectors now, so you can do a lot of use case, of course, in your Automate. If oh yeah, it was already launched. Sorry. So of course in Automate you can see have all fields that is you can show fields, see fields, and just for alert rule, just for information, the key value 1 and the key value 2 are the main the main data that are pasted to the flow. So here you can see that the key value 1 is it's a number sequence of the sales quotation. So it's the unique number. And of course, after I call again my finance operation with the data entities of finance operation. So just to show you, of course, in finance operation, you can call every data entities, even your custom data entities in Power Automate. So you can call and get back all data coming from your ERP. And of course, after I can have all the fields coming from the sales quotation, and of course, after I can do, but I can also do like on dimension, on financial dimension if you want. So like that, and you can of course send a mobile notification. So if I show you, of course, in my mobile notification that I've received normally, if I go to this one, so connect, hello, start broadcast. Okay. Wait a little bit, sorry. Just, I think it's good now. So here is my mobile notification. So if I go, you can see as I've got, I just received my notification from the sales quotation. So I know that a new quotation has been created with this expiration date. But it's just an example, of course. I'm not a functional consultant, so I don't have a lot of knowing of best use case. So sorry for that. It's just for demonstration. But as you can see, of course, I can pass also the link directly to this quotation. So if you want to send your manager a notification by email, by Teams, or whatever connectors you have now in Power Automate, of course, you can send directly the link directly to go to. If I go, I will show you. Just need to connect. Okay, approve. Thanks to multi-factor authentication. Now, if I go to the ERP in my mobile, of course, it's responsive. So it will show you the quotation. So as you can see, I know I directly have the quotation. I can go there and But for my best practices, like for workflow approval for workflow, you can send an adaptive card in Teams to your manager with all information needed to approval. and you will not need to go to Dynamics Finance Operation to approve the sales quotation, the invoice, whatever you need to, the purchase order for workflow on purchase order. So the best practice is really to propose all the information needed in email, in notification, and just have a button approve reject in Teams. And when you click on that, it will call after, of course, finance operation to update and pass the approval status to OK. So yeah. Okay, so that's it quickly for Power Automate. So yeah, my session is really on overview on every part of Power Platform. So not going deeper on only on Power Automate, but still I think I will do some on my YouTube channels, some webinars or some in English just for Power Automate only, for Power BI only, and yeah, to put some details on that. So now we'll talk a little bit on new stuff. It's AI Builder. So on AI Builder, you have now a lot of models for AI, and especially for ERP, you will use form processing and text recognition. But because I think in mostly all company, you have, of course, expenses to handle. And of course, you have a module in finance operation to handle expense management. But still, if you just print or scan your expense, like me, you have a lot of, well, now in the lockdown in Europe, you don't go to restaurant or you don't buy, a hotel or travel plane. So yeah, at this time we didn't have a lot of expenses, but normally, yeah, like me, if you travel a little bit, you have a lot of expenses. You have to scan it to send to the accounting team, and someone will have to, in the ERP and finance operation, to manually re-enter all information, but all information are already in your document. It's like for form processing. Now in AI Builder, you can scan, and the AI Builder will know with some example of a form that you have in a sheet. You can handle that, and you can do a flow that I will show you to parse every lines, every information, and send directly, create automatically data in finance operation. So it will avoid a lot of time consume, cost, and it's not I think. Re-enter all information in ERP. If it can be automatically done, it's better, of course. You don't have any intelligence based on that. So yeah, I use the text recognition for this sample. So I will show you just quickly my flow. So I've done a quick flow. All my this flow, it's on my blog. In my blog, you have a GitHub part, and on my GitHub, I've already uploaded this sample. So you can grab it, install, and import it in your own tenant, and maybe have a look. Yeah. So it was really a proof of concept. And it will not, you don't use it in production. It's not very you have to handle some improvements because it was really, I've done it quickly in one day, I think. So yeah, if you want to use it in production, you maybe import in your own tenant and modify a little bit to be good. So here is my Power Automate. So as you will see, this Power Automate, it's more not a very simple one, but yeah, of course, the trigger of my flow is to send the image, the scan of your images, of your expense. Of course, after I've got a lot of init variables. And of course, after I have to use the Office 365 connector to know where whom is currently have triggered the flow. So use the end user that has sent the expense. Of course, after I can get the current worker of this user in the ERP. Of course, after I've got a lot of set up to know who is the manager of this worker, because as you will see, I have an approval flow based on that. So in Teams to the manager to know if the manager is okay for the expense or not. And of course, I use after my predict model, so text recognition. And after on each page and each line, I just have to know the part where I was looking for the transaction date, the total amount of the expense, and after I create, of course, the expense in Dynamics, and I sent directly an approval flow to my manager with some information. And after, based on that, if he reject or not, I will, of course, approve or not the expense in Dynamics by an update. And of course, upload the expense in SharePoint because it's my repository in finance operation. And of course, after send a mobile notification when it's approve or reject with the comments on Teams if it's reject to the end user. So maybe the best way is to put you some demonstration. So how it works. When it's done, you can of course share it to your end user in read-only, the flow. No problem at all with that. So it will be, I will have to go to my mobile. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that's it. Hello, good. Start broadcast. Okay, good. So now, yeah, you can see my screen. So if I go to Pour Automate, so yeah, so now I have a button because I share my, I share it the flow to the user. And if we go to AI Builder, he can select the image. It can do, yeah, like this. Yeah, hello. So he can just for this one scan his expense. It's a good restaurant in Paris. So if you go to Paris, don't hesitate to contact me. I know a very good restaurant in Paris. So I can use this photo. I can select push to down, and it will call my flow. Okay, it started now. So if I go to my AI builder, yeah, it's running now. Good. So yeah, it will take a little time, just I think 1 minute, and after it will be good. Okay. So really helpful, huh? If you want to share your button, like a button in Power Automate. So you end user has just to download the application of Power Automate, and you can of course connect to them with the Office 365 account, and after you can share it in read-only, and you can just yeah. For this purpose also, I can, if you have expense linked to a project in finance operation, you can add another input before calling the Power Automate flow for finance operation is to put some project, and the user has to, of course, put their image, select the project, and after you can call it. So it's running. I think it's now in the if I go there, I can of course know where he now it is. Okay, it's scanning again. Okay, running. Because as I said, I have a manager on my Dynamics 365 finance operation, so he will look at it and he will send on Teams messages to know if he's okay with that. So for the expense, if I am on my manager, don't know if it's okay. It's still running, okay. Very slow. I hope I don't have a problem on internet. Okay, running. Ah, yeah, sorry, it's okay. Oh, yeah. Well, it was there for 2 minutes. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, I just received the flow, like you can see. So I am the manager here, on another account, and I can say okay, approve or not. So if I select reject with the comments, it will send a notification to the end user that say, okay, your expense has been rejected by your manager, and what in the comments are, I'm not okay with that. It's not cheap. And you can select, of course, approve and select submit. Okay, so it's updated now. So in my flow, normally, if I go there, now, yeah, it succeeded. Okay, it's finished now. So if I go to my expense now, expense management, expenses, normally, if I go to approved, yeah, you have now my, so it was an expense from long times ago when we don't have any lockdown in France. So yeah, now it's there. Of course, like I said, I have already put the expense in my SharePoint folder, so I can put directly my expense to SharePoint. And of course, at the end, if I go back to my phone, start broadcast. If I go back there, okay. Sorry. Hello. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, I received my expense management. So it has been approved by my manager. And yeah, so that's it. That's it for AI Builder. Just a quick presentation on that. Now we have to go to virtual agent and Power Virtual Agent. So if I go to Power Virtual Agent, how it works. So I've done a very quick chatbot. It's not the perfect one, of course, but still, Power Virtual Agent, of course, you can have a lot of topics. You can build topics. So on my side, because I was working on expenses before, I created a new topic. It's expense. And of course, after he called with a Power Automate flow, Dynamics 365 finance operation to get back data to expense for the end user. So yeah, just a quick example. So, but as you can imagine in the ERP, you have a lot of data, so you can build a lot of use case with the chatbot based on that, like return order, or if you are going to retail in finance operation, you have all your sales of your end customer on your ERP. So you can build a chatbot, publish it on every platform, website, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, and so on. And of course, the end user, the end customer will use the chatbot to interact with you as a virtual agent. And you can have a lot of action based on that and call back an output from finance operation. If he has a problem with the order, if you want to create automatically return order, so you can have a lot of topics for that in your chatbot for finance operation. So yeah, and as a Power Platform, the chatbot is very quick to build, really. So I think I've done it in 1 hour, but yeah, it was a simple topic, but yeah, still. So if I go to my trigger phrase, no, expense, sorry. So yeah, my trigger phrase is expenses. And if I go to my chatbot, so as you can see, I use the Power Virtual Agent flow sample template to call a finance operation. And my example is just to call finance operation. You know, I've just uploaded a new expense now in my finance operation. So I want to interact and know if my expense has been approved or not, what is the status, and so on. So I can say hello. So normally my virtual agent, yeah, I am a virtual agent. Yeah, good. But if you want to speak a human agent, let me know. Okay, good, good question. So yeah, I can help you, but I want to know my expenses. What is the status? So now you will trigger the flow. That's it. So as you can see, it has been approved now, my total amount. So for this purpose and for this example demonstration, I just put the latest expense of the user. So it has been approved effectively at the good date. Yeah. So just to quickly show you the flow behind, if I go there, dismiss. So yes, the approval is very quick, and you can list items present in my that entity from expense trends, travel expense trends. So this is that entities for expenses, and you can return value, of course, based on the return of the finance operation and sent to Power Virtual Agent. And yeah, so of course you can build more complicated Power Automate flow with condition and for before send the output to Power Virtual Agent. So just a quick example, but yeah, still I think it's really helpful. And yeah, for Virtual Agent, I think I will write an article and doing some input on Virtual Agent with finance operation. So did you answer your question? Yes, it's okay. And yeah, it was excellent experience. Good. Okay, so oh, nice bug. I select excellent. It's not working, I think. Okay. Well, still. Okay, so that was a virtual agent for finance operation. Now, if I go to my Power BI, let's go to Power BI. So for Power BI, okay. So for Power BI, I don't know if you know, but in finance operation, you have an entity store. It's all cubes for your data warehouse that you can build based on, of course, of your transactional data of finance operation. And you can build custom ones that I've done for me on my side, and maybe I will share all these cube that I've created for the community, because in standard the standard cube for entity store for finance operation to do Power BI reporting are not very good. Sorry, but yeah, it's not very good. So maybe I will share you all my cube, custom cube in my GitHub. And and now in entity store, you can put all your entity store in a data lake, own data lake on Azure. And if I go to my data lake on Azure, I will show you how it works. It works on like the common data model. If I go to data lake, yeah. So I have a containers, finance operation, and I have all my aggregate measurement here. You know, it's the same as you have seen in my finance operation. And if I want to show you, I don't know, Custrans, you can have the model JSON for the common data model, and you can have all like this customer. You have a CSV file, and you can use it. Of course, yeah, you will have a better performance for synchronize your data to data lake, because in the past the data warehouse with the entity store was stored in a SQL Azure database, so not it was not yeah, you don't, I think it was, if you were online, of course you didn't have any access in production to this database SQL Azure. It was stored in a Azure subscription of Microsoft. So in this kind of architecture, you can have your own data lake in your own subscription with your, and you can of course connect directly Power BI to this data lake. So how it works? So if you go to your Power BI, you have to go to admin portal, and you can use this one, the data flow storage. So you can connect your data lake storage directly to Power BI, and after you can build a lot of data flow. So data flow, it's a new technology to bring in Power BI, you know, a lot of data sources in one data flow, and you can share your data flow to your end business user that can after grab it in the Power BI desktop to build quickly your reports. So I think it's very important, because still in my customer project right now in finance operation, we built a lot of the IT, built a lot of Power BI, which is not a problem. We were because we know, you know, the data model of finance operation, so it's easy for us. But for end user, because Power BI, it's part of the Power Platform. So normally in the yeah, they can normally build their own one on Power BI desktop, right? We are agree with that. So, but for finance operation, I think it's not very easy because you have the data model. Even in Entity Store, where you have a lot of cube, sometimes you have fields in English or it's not technical fields with a technical name. They have to build relationship between the cube if they want to have, I want to build a report on sales, but I want to have some data coming from product and customer, and so you have and of course in finance operation, if you know that you have legal entity, so you have to the data array ID, so legal entity with the sequence number to have the good sequence the good relationship, unique relationship. So yeah, it's not very easy. Huh? So that's why I really want to show you that because you can connect directly Power BI to your data lake from production, no problem. You can build after data flow. So how to do that? You can go to the workspace, you have dataset and data flow now. You can build data flow like that. I think, sorry, yeah. And you can define entities. You can after you will use a Power Query, so you can rename fields. You can somehow, I don't know, if you have a lot of fields, you can remove them if you know that end user will not need them. So you can prepare, of course, for your data and just have one query, one table with all necessary information for and publish it. And after, the end user will go to their Power BI desktop, grab your data flow, just do their reports on that, and yeah. So I really suggest for finance operation doing this kind of architecture. It's really helpful and very quick to build. So if I go to, I've done that for my expense again. So I've done a data flow expense. Of course, also I don't show you, but in data flow you can of course also grab other data source from other platform or legacy platform. You can maybe also, if you want, call a data entity. So yeah, you can call a lot of data sources and have just one query after. So yeah. And after, you can, of course, in the data flow, build a report like me. So yeah, I've done a very basic one. I'm not famous to build sexy reports. So yeah, just quick demonstration of Power BI if you don't know this tool. But yeah, you can have a drilled down stuff. I think that not of customer don't use this kind of information, but I really like ask a question about your data because in finance operation, it's very complicated to build a standard report for all business users that will say, no, I don't want to have the count approved or the count not approved. So you have all your data, in fact, in your Power BI reports, and sometimes you want to have like a dynamic report. So you can have just quick a question. So you have intelligence. You have so show the approval status of my and you can I don't know, yeah, like this, okay, good. So you can ask a question. The end user will have intelligence, so they don't need to. So that's why if you rename your field in your data flow, it's better because it will not be the technical name field. So yeah, you can have a lot of information, and so yeah, like this, I've done. I don't. It's important to, I think, to use this kind of. So really suggest you to add this kind of information in your probability report, even of course, especially for finance operation. Yeah, really. Okay, that's it. Now we will talk a little bit of CDS dual rights. As I said, if you go to system administration, you have in data management now, you have the dual rights here, sorry. So it's a part that will also in my blog article, I've done an article to talk to you about the setup, the configuration. So I think it takes almost a morning or an afternoon to configure, but after it's okay. And on my demonstration, I have already sync the finance operation workers to CDS directly. And when it's running now, if I go to my worker, because it's activated, if I go to worker, every time it's reloaded when it's reload everything when I click here. So if I go to my worker, okay, that's it. So yeah, it's synced. So just before now everything is connected as you have seen in my CDS URL. So every time I update a worker in a finance operation, it will sync to the CDS, the entity CDS workers. Of course, in the CDS, if I update the entity worker, it will sync back to finance operation. I don't show you that, but of course you have a lot of, as you have seen in the entity map of CDS URL, you have a lot of standard one, like business event before in Power Automate. So, but you can create new one, of course, no problem at all. Microsoft provide a lot of entity mapping on between CDS and finance operation, but you can build own one, add your custom field, of course. So yeah, it's really you can customize and not a problem. And just a quick part, I see also on CDS, you are right, that Microsoft will provide a connection directly without CDS or dual right from finance operation to CDS without any configuration or installation of CDS dual right, but it will use virtual entity of CDS to do that. So you will have to be careful to use CDS dual right or not the standard way that Microsoft show you to Embase business application submit. They have shown that, but virtual entities, as far as I know, in CDS you have a lot of limitation. So it's just like a reference to your table of finance operations. So be careful. I think if you want to sync correctly your data from finance operation to CDS, it will be better to use CDS right. Yeah. So Power Apps Portal. So yeah, I've done a Power Apps Portal. Mario learned me a little bit on Power Apps Portal. Thanks, Mario. So if I go to my portal, so I've done a very quick portal, of course. So as I said now, if I go there, so I've built a quick page on my portal. So of course I can use authentication of my portal if I want to have a private portal. So if I search to me as a worker, so I've built a quick view on me. It's the view from my CDS of worker that I show you with my birth date. So I will show you that if I go to my worker, I can edit it. I can maybe edit to like this. I can save. Okay, it's okay. And now it will be sync almost in near real time, near real time Microsoft. But yeah, normally if I go back to my Power Apps portal because it's connected to the CDS. So yeah, so just quickly before it's working. So yeah, Power Apps portal you can build, of course, you can customize it. It's a web content. You can maybe use some templates of pages, and so I'm not a very good expert on Power Apps portal, but Mario can explain, and of course over MVP or over guys from the community, girls and community that show me better. So yeah, if you want, I will not explain everything on Power Portal, but still it's a good idea because now that was I want to show you, it's because you have the CDS URL, right? You can of course build your Power Apps portal connected directly to your data coming from ERP. So if you were like me in AX 2012, Dynamics AX 2012 or 2009, where you were using Enterprise Portal, as you know, as like an intranet stuff to have the, I think Microsoft used the Enterprise Portal in AX 2012 to send expense in the portal. So yeah, you can have like a partner portal to see their purchase order. etc. So yeah, you can have a lot of use case directly. Yeah. And of course, it will not need an Dynamics 365 Finance Operation license. So very important. So if maybe I will reload. So if I go and search for me, it's not, no, it was not updated again. Okay, maybe I have to refresh again. Oh, not updated anymore. Strange. Maybe if I go there, very strange. If I go maybe to my Power Apps, because I've done also a Power Apps Canvas application connected again to the CDS workers. So if I go, it's updated here. Okay. So yeah, this Power Apps Canva apps is connected to my CDS entity workers. So yeah, I can see that the birth date has been really. So yeah, I think the Power Apps portal, it's sometimes it's not very refreshed very quickly, the data. So very strange. If I search again, maybe I can. Oh, well, yeah, very strange. Or maybe I can directly go. I think if I go directly, maybe in private session, no? I don't know if it will works. Okay, good. Oh no, wow, very strange. Don't know why. Maybe I will search again after. So yeah, my worker here, you can see the border has been updated correctly. So just as I said, if I just change or for this kind of purpose, I can show you that for the master data approval. So yeah, here I built a quick Canva apps to show the worker, and if someone wants to handle an approval before updating and create a new worker, for me it will be an update. But if you want to handle approval based on creating before a work, to create a worker or to create a new product in your ERP, create a new vendor, create a new customer, etc. So master data. And you want to build a quick Canvas application on Power Apps, you can build one connected to your CDS. And you can, of course, after do an adaptive card in Teams with a flow to send to a manager, the manager of products, the manager of customer, etc., to approve or not the creation or the update of your master data. And when you will approve, it will update, of course, the finance operation automatically. So this was my showcase. So here, if I update my first name here, okay, when I click on update button, it calls a Power Automate flow. That's it. So if I go to my flow, I will show you I've built a quick flow. I think master data approval. So it's running now. Okay, good. It's running, and if I go there, so of course I post a choice to my manager to know if he's okay to approve or not the master data update here. And if I think, yeah, I've already received, I think, yeah, worker approval master data. So I can send here, I just send the updated field, the worker number, and I can approve and reject. Of course, if it's reject, I will show you, I will approve. Okay, so now it's approved. If I go back to my flow here, okay, sorry. So if it's okay, I update, of course, the CDS. The worker entity of the CDS. And since, as I said, I connected the CDS URI with worker from CDS also to finance operation, normally, if I go back to here in my finance operation, yeah, I have now my new first name. Great. So really quick to build Canvas application. As you can know, I think you can build very quick Power Apps on an entity in CDS. So I think on my side, on my customer, they handle poor master data approval, but based on Excel with Jira. So it takes a lot of times. And after it's approved in Jira, so the user has to create an Excel sheet with all necessary fields before creating like a new product in the ERP. After they create a new Jira service desk ticket someone has to approve, and after it's redirected to someone that has to create in production the product directly manually. So as you can see, it's not very the best flow to handle that. So really, I think doing a Power Apps is very quick. And the user, you have like a combo box for multi-selection and so on. So yeah, really, and of course, I don't use it for that, but still, of course, with Power Apps, you have also, you can use, of course, CDS dual write entities that has been synced to maybe like doing a Power Apps that can show the inventory, or maybe also doing, for warehouse management with, the barcode of product to scan barcode and send automatically the information by Power Automate to your ERP. So as you can see with Power Apps, you can have a lot of use cases. So yeah, it's very, if I if I go back to my Power Apps portal to know if it's okay or not, I will refresh again. Now it's okay. The refresh on Power Apps, I don't know, but I'm not an expert on Power Apps portal. But still, yeah, it's not been refreshed very quickly. As you have seen in my Power Apps Canva apps, it was already, of course, connected directly and updated. But still now, and of course, I have my first name also updated on my Power Apps portal. So yeah, so really, yeah, you can have you can build a very quickly Power Apps and like test inventory. So yeah, you can show the stock, etc., coming from your ERP. Don't know if yeah, that's it. So this is the kind of applications that you can build on Power Apps to show the inventory connected directly to your finance operation. Because yeah, so you have two types of architecture. Of course, you can, if you don't want to sync, because yeah, sync all inventory stuff with the CDS write, it can take a lot of time. So maybe you can build a quick data entities to have all summarized fields necessary for all products for the inventory. And you can call the data entity with a Power Automate to have the data directly to your Power Apps. So yeah, you have two types of architecture. So I think I'm almost done for this session. So I hope you like it. And yeah, don't hesitate to ask your question on the feed, and I will try to answer, of course. And of course, as I said, you can really contact me if you have any further question after the session, or if you have a need for that on Power Platform with Dynamics 365 Finance Operation. So yeah, that was, I think, the main part. Yeah, I think approve or reject. Yeah. So yeah, that's it, I think. And yeah, I think for the Power Apps, if I don't have any use case, but yeah, I think also, yeah, the warehouse management, yeah, it's quick to build. I think I will try to do an article also for that to, the barcode, because I think it's in warehouse management module of the ERP, it will be a good showcase of the Power Apps mobile application and so on. So, and as I said, just to finish, as I said, for the Power Automate flow, release the approval with the workflow use Power Automate flow really. And of course, use adaptive card to Teams, to the manager to approve the purchase order. And you will not have to go to Dynamics 365 Finance Operation. You can show them all information needed to approve or not, because it doesn't have to know everything of your purchase order before reject or approve the purchase order. So put only fields needed, and yeah, it's better because if a manager is you can use a mobile application, of Teams to approve or not. So if he is in trouble, okay, I got an approval, I can show quickly, see quickly the purchase order, okay, approve or not, and yeah. So really suggest to go to this kind of architecture. So yeah, I think I'm finished. So really, gracias todas, and yeah, really I hope you like it, and yeah, see you next time for next event. Hopefully in event physically event in Madrid or Barcelona next year. Yeah, I hope so. Thank you. Bye bye.